up?
I hate you.
We always do. What's up, guys? This and That podcast is back, man. What, God?
Some would say back again, once again.
God, what was September? October? No. 3 months?
Yeah,
Venom was our last one?
Venom was our last one, yeah.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yowie, wowie.
As you guys cannot tell what the podcast is about.
It's not about the guy that's behind MTK.
No, not at all. I don't
wait,
know who that guy is.
Wait. You got to change your name. You're not Matt West right now.
Oh, it's all right.
Matt West.
It's all right. You know, how can I do that?
You're right. You're right. Tomorrow it'll be Matt West.
Probably. Guys, today's podcast is on Spider-Man No Way Home, and we are doing a non-spoiler and a spoiler one. We're gonna start off with.
It's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same video.
Yeah.
And like with the Venom one, we'll give you a good, 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah, I'll put a
to
little.
click off the video.
I'll put a countdown timer down so you guys know to click off the video.
Yeah, and then anything after that's free game. We'll talk about everything that happens,
Yes.
and I mean everything.
There's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot that happens.
There's something I gotta talk to you about that I'm starting to think is gonna make sense now. But anyways, so let's start off our review.
Highly recommend the movie.
Yeah.
If you enjoy Spider-Man, you have to see it. I know I said that about Venom, but if you enjoy Spider-Man, you have to go watch it.
Absolutely. I mean, 100%, guys. I mean, definitely any true Spider-Man fan obviously is going to see any Spider-Man movie there is, whether if it's animated or
whether we tell you to or not.
Yeah, exactly. But guys, this one is definitely
highly recommended.
Yeah, it's a must. Like, I mean, it's getting all these good scores for a reason. And
yeah, it didn't score 94% on Rotten Tomatoes the other day for nothing. So, it was at 100%. Then last I've seen, it was at 94%.
I think it's went back up a little bit.
Oh, has it?
I think so. So, guys, without getting any spoilers at first, if you've seen the trailer, you know that they brought back some familiar faces.
I mean, let's be honest. So, what we talk about in this section is going to include the trailer. So, if you haven't watched the trailer, click away now.
Yeah.
But assuming you're interested in watching the movie, you're going to go and look up trailers.
Exactly.
I mean, let's be honest. And so, anything that they showed before the movie was out is free game to talk about. So, this is your chance, if you haven't watched the trailers, to go watch the trailer and then come back and finish the podcast.
Exactly. But, guys, so we know, your familiar villains are back. Electro, Lizard, Sandman, Doc Ock, and Green Goblin.
And Green Goblin, yeah.
Like, I mean, and the best part is, it's the original people.
Yeah, it's the actual, like, they didn't recast. That's what makes me so excited about it.
And it was
They didn't recast.
So good. So you guys know the whole idea of it is that, Peter and Doctor Strange messed up the spell, which caused the multiverse, which caused these villains to come.
Because Mysterio revealed who Spider-Man truly is.
If you haven't seen the last Spider-Man, then, I mean, you had 2 years to watch it, though.
Yeah, I mean, why are you here clicking on this podcast? If you didn't want spoilers.
But, yeah, I mean, it's all because of Mysterio. Like Lop was saying, Peter wants everybody to forget who he was, except for certain people, which it shows that in the trailer too, and then bam, it messes up the spell, which causes the multiverse.
Goes into complete disaster.
Yeah, like complete disaster.
So, what would you rate this movie?
Oh, me?
Out of 10. Out of 10.
Absolutely a 10. Like
10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, what about you?
Oh, hands down, 10.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Definitely a 10. I mean, it just... The nostalgia feeling, man. Like, I mean, bringing back all the familiar.
The CGI in this movie is absolutely amazing. Like, I don't know if you guys have actually dug into and done a little bit of research, but there was a panel where you had Doc Ock, Green Goblin, and Electro did an interview together, and Doc Ock mentions and Green Goblin mentions how far advanced they are in the movie business compared to what they was 20 years ago. It's been 2 decades almost since the first Spider-Man movie come out.
17 years.
And 17 years for the second Spider-Man movie.
So in the past, well, go ahead.
in the past, so we'll start with Spider-Man 2. For Doc Ock, he actually wore the arms, and they was controlled by puppeteers. And in this, they're not there. Yeah, it's all CGI. It's all CGI. Yeah. And same thing with Green Goblin. He was talking about how the costume, he had to stand there for 8 hours and get fitted little piece at a time for his costume. Whereas this time around, they scanned his figure and had the suit printed off in like 2 hours, and then he tried it on. Yeah. And then if it fit, it was good. If not, then they would go in and resize whatever needed to be resized.
Dude, that blows my mind. If that much is advanced in 20 years, what's going to happen?
Right. I mean, I'm excited to see where the future is going to take us. But enough of that. We're here to talk about Spider-Man. We're not here to talk about the future of the world, even though the future of his world was at stake in this movie.
That's true. But yeah, I mean, it was so good. I mean, the acting's great. Tom Holland is a phenomenal Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Like, he nails both roles 100%.
I agree. Now let me just touch on something. Is it just me, or does Doc Ock and Green Goblin not age?
If anything, they aged backwards.
Yeah, Benjamin Button.
Because I mean,
they both look so good.
Yeah,
now.
I was watching I saw a clip or a picture earlier of the Spider-Man original Spider-Man premiere on the red carpet in this one, and William Dafoe looked younger this time around.
Yeah, they look so good to be as old as they are, man.
It's
it is amazing. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx didn't really change much, but
no, Jamie Foxx looks the same, But I mean, it's been what, 6 years?
Maybe if that. Since
didn't Amazing Spider-Man 2 come out in like 2014 or so?
I think so, yeah.
Something like that. So, I mean, it's been like, well, I guess it'd be 7 years. So,
but,
yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like you were saying, Doc Ock and Green Goblin did not age.
No. And they absolutely nailed their role.
Oh, 100%. Like, it reminded me exactly how it originally was.
Yes.
And we'll touch on it later. Green Goblin had a little bit of a different spin, but
for sure.
For the most part, though, it is the whole gyps of it, and of course, you got Zendaya, which is a great Mary Jane. Whenever I first saw it, I was skeptical. I was like,
I'm not gonna lie, I was too, because MJ's a redhead.
Yeah.
But I guess technically her name's not Mary Jane Watson either. No.
It's Michelle Jones Watson.
Yep. Watson. Yeah, her last name is still Watson,
But I mean, it's just it was great. The
but chemistry. And Ned, Ned's there. He's goofy as ever.
And the cool thing is, they're all good friends in real life. Tom Holland's dating Zendaya in real life.
They hang out on a daily basis.
So I mean, that makes making a movie together that much more fun.
Right.
When you're working with people that you actually enjoy working with, and then plus you get to work with Benedict. Like, I've never heard one person talk bad about him.
I've always heard that he's like super nice.
Yeah, like he's super cool.
He's super chill. Yeah.
And the interviews I've seen with him, like I think he was being legit. Like, he was talking about how he looks up to Tom Holland and all them because they're the future generation and what they're doing and all that. But of course, Doctor Strange in this movie is super badass as always. Because Doctor Strange is Doctor Strange.
Right, exactly.
But I mean, his movie alone was great. Like,
I enjoyed the first one.
I would tell you,
of course, everyone knows there's going to be another one.
That is one thing Marvel's always got down pat. They cast the perfect roles for people.
I agree with that. They nail it to the T in the MCU.
I can't.
We'll clarify. We're going to clarify the MCU.
Yeah.
Because like the Fantastic Four,
they haven't been technically in the MCU though.
Well, that's why I clarified for the MCU. Okay, yeah,
I was gonna say.
That's what I'm saying. The MCU, they have nailed every character.
Fox, the only character Fox has nailed. I mean, no hate to Fox, is two characters: Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool and Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Like, those are literally the only two. But this movie is completely action packed. Like, it's emotional, it's action packed, it's funny.
The fight scenes are phenomenal.
Yes.
Like, the details in it are just amazing.
I will definitely say this is the darkest of the Tom Holland series. Spider-Man movies.
Definitely.
Like,
definitely a big
emotional
change.
Yeah.
A big change. It's an emotional roller coaster.
But it's so cool to see how he's progressed because
he's seeing him
so
as an
much
actor,
more as
right. You get to see more of Tom Holland. Like you don't just see this like happy, this happy guy. And of course, with Tony Stark dying, he got to express his emotions a little bit more. But you also see another side of Tom Holland that we'll talk about later. Yeah. But
it was phenomenal, guys.
Literally,
it's really. I'm not gonna lie. It's really hard to do a review without giving spoilers or anything.
But that's why I'm just talking about like the fight scenes were amazing. The details in the fight scenes were awesome.
And everybody got enough screen time. I mean,
I feel like the screen time was perfect. I was surprised, honestly.
But it all felt good. Don't get me wrong. Spider-Man 3 was a good movie, but it felt rushed. Adding all these different villains and stuff. But they nailed it in this one. It didn't feel rushed. It didn't feel
right. Everything kind of fell into place.
Yeah, perfect timing and everything. The director Amy, she knew exactly what she was doing.
Oh yeah, she hit the nail on the head.
It was pinpoint.
All right, I think this is the point.
This is the point.
This is your 20-second window,
and the countdown starts now. Alright guys, the countdown is over. Spoiler alert! Oh my gosh, guys. Whew.
We shouldn't let the cat out of the bag right off.
No.
In case you got some lingerers.
But I will mention the first clap guest appearance. Daredevil.
Yep.
Matt Murdock.
That was everybody kind of expected it. It was rumored, but
he was in it, and oh my god,
he was there.
It was so cool.
I cannot wait to see what the MCU has planned for him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In the future, it's going to be awesome. I feel like.
Would you know that apparently Disney said that they're going to make a new Daredevil show for Disney Plus?
Oh really?
It kind of scares me too because the Netflix one was dark and.
Yeah, it was on the darker side for sure.
And I don't feel like
because it tied in with the Punisher and the Punisher, man. I don't know if you ever finished it. I know you started it.
No, I haven't finished it yet.
Dude, you have
to. See, that's another thing. MCU didn't have nothing to do with Daredevil.
No.
But he was perfectly casted.
They nailed that cast. Same thing with Punisher, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, they could not have picked a better person to play the Punisher.
Yeah. He didn't get a whole lot of screen time, but he was enough there. And then there was a scene where someone threw a brick in the window and he caught it, and everybody was like, "What?"
He was like, "How'd you do that?" And he was like, "I'm a good lawyer."
Yeah. In case you guys didn't know, he was Peter's lawyer.
Yeah.
Which that's what all the speculations was at first. That he was going to be Peter's lawyer, but the fact that that's how they introduced him to the MCU is amazing. Perfect.
I can't wait for how they're going to find out that he's Daredevil. That's what I can't wait for.
It's got to be a Spider-Man Daredevil movie. He's got to show up.
Because they had that little series,
Yes. But, it just... Oh, man. Guys, this movie... You got to go see this movie. If you are a Spider-Man
you have fan, to. Hands down.
It is... Oh, my God. This movie is great. So...
Green Goblin has a new suit.
Yeah, what do you think was up with that? With him smashing the mask and all that?
I think it was just kind of his way of trying to drown out that
Norman. Whenever he was Norman, yeah.
Yeah, Norman was trying to drown out the Goblin, and
I can see that.
He felt like smashing the mask was kind of separating the two.
Yeah. At
that point in time.
So if you guys aren't aware, which, you guys should be aware. Everybody knows that Peter exists. And he's his life is turned completely upside down. He wants to get into college with him, Ned, and MJ. They get declined.
Because everyone knows that, or thinks that Peter killed Mysterio.
Yeah. So therefore, since they know Spider-Man, they know how close they are with Peter.
Yeah, they know how close. So they decline all their college applications.
And then Peter is upset about that. He's like, everybody's life's ruined because of me. And
so he goes to talk to the MIT recruit lady.
Yep.
And then that's whenever Doc Ock comes and shows his ass.
And it was,
Pardon my language.
But Doc Ock, he knew, like, he was fighting Spider-Man. So they describe where they get taken out of, like which part of the movie. So this was right when he was choking Peter, trying to get the particle accelerator and getting the whole power and all that. So basically, towards the end of Spider-Man 2 is when
right before he goes in the water, more or less.
And so therefore, he's fighting Peter, and Doc Ock, he gets a little bit of nanotech on him, and once he does that, Peter gets control of his. arms.
Controls his arms. And
so, I did not expect that. That was
I did not either. He stops him from moving. Yeah. And how he got the nanotech on him was he grabbed a hold of Peter's suit and ripped and broke it. And so the nanotech, and so his arms actually absorbed the nanotech. And I thought it was cool that Peter started controlling his suit.
His arms and saving the recruit lady. And she's like, "You're a hero. I'm going to."
And then she went over there to whoop Doc Ock's ass.
Yeah. But
which was funny.
So in the trailer you guys see Doc Ock like in a little not capsule, but like a little.
It's kind of like a capsule.
Yeah. So basically, what it is, Doctor Strange makes this little contraption for Peter, where he can shoot out these rings. Basically, a teleportation. Yeah. So he teleports.
So it teleports them to these cells. Yeah. We'll call them cells.
So
so they can't break through them.
Yeah. So the first two people that you see is Doc Ock and Green Goblin. Green Goblin shows up right after Peter basically whoops Doc Ock's butt.
Beats Doc Ock. Yeah. And then right as Goblin's about to blow up Tom Holland, Doctor Strange brings him to the chamber.
Yeah. What I want to know is, Doc Ock already had Lizard. I mean, Doctor
Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange already had.
He said he found him in the sewers.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically what it is, they're keeping them captured, so that way they can send them back to their universe.
They can send them all together.
So then Peter goes out looking for Green Goblin in the field. That's when Sandman comes, and that's when Electro comes. And
Sandman's actually helping Spider-Man to defeat Electro.
Because that must
be cool as shit. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, because he must have came right at the end of Spider-Man 3. So
right, because he said that Peter, I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
And so they worked together and they captured Electro. And then they both got teleported to the cells.
Yeah. And then Green Goblin, he's Norman for a little bit. So he goes to the help center where May is running the everything.
Yeah, the homeless shelter.
Yeah.
And as Norman and is begging for Spider-Man's help because he seen Spider-Man was advertised on the side of the building or whatever. And so he goes there, and so May calls Peter, and she's like, "Yo, one of the guys you're looking for is here."
And Peter freaks out. He's like, "Oh,
he's like, "Oh, somebody's about to kill Aunt May."
So he runs through there and gets Norman. They go through that little area, and Doctor Strange puts him in a little capsule too. He's like, it's their fate, their world.
He's about to cancel the spell, but before that, Peter finds out that
they die, like in their world. And Peter,
they all die from Spider-Man.
Right, and he doesn't want that to happen. He's like, so
he's trying to stop. Right, he's trying to stop Doctor Strange so he can try to figure out a way to give them a second chance.
Mm-hmm. So by doing that, he takes a little box, because inside this box, there's a little button. If you push it, it sends everything back to normal. Yeah. Like, they go back to their worlds and all that.
It reverses the spell is what it does.
And Peter didn't want that to happen. He didn't want them to die. He didn't want that on him. So there's a really
At this point, we're kind of just telling you the movie.
Yeah. There's a really cool fight scene with Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
And Doctor Strange and Spider-Man whoops Doctor Strange's ass.
Yeah, he does. And then
Doctor Strange gets stuck in the mirror realm.
Yep. While Peter is figuring out how to reverse all this stuff. So he gets the help. Doc Ock.
So then he frees him. And then while he's working on freeing him, he actually makes the chip for Doc Ock's neck, and frees him of the arms, telling him stuff. And
everybody's like, he could do this.
And everybody's like, oh, damn, you can do that? And so then he's he does Electro. And then
Electro already was iffy at first.
He was skeptical about it anyway the whole time.
Because he liked the power. Like, the power in that world.
Sandman was just trying to get home to his daughter.
Yeah.
So he was trying to hurry up and get all this done. But then the Goblins started taking back over Norman.
Yeah, as soon as he said that they were going to separate them, Goblin kicked in and was like, nah, that ain't happening.
Yeah. So then Goblin whooped everyone's ass pretty much.
Yeah, because he went and Peter knew it was coming because he had the tingle.
He had his Peter tingle.
So he knew something was off with Norman, so he captured him, and then Lizard broke free out of the van outside, and
and then everything went to shit.
Yeah. So
Goblin whooped Peter's ass, and then tragedy happened. I cried.
Aunt May died, guys. Aunt May died.
By Goblin's glider.
And it was, oh God. And I didn't know at first. Like, at first I thought she was cool. Like, she was acting weird. She was out of breath. But I kind of expected at first because Goblin blew up the building, basically.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But then her and Peter were, like, walking like everything was okay. And then May's like, I just need to catch my breath. And then she's laying there and trying to catch her breath.
Line, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah. That's the thing. And then she was holding her side, and then Peter held her side and seen all the blood, so he knew that she'd been stabbed with the glider and she was dying.
Yeah.
Then Happy pulls up and gets arrested, and that's the last we see of Happy.
Yeah, well, to the very end.
To the end, yeah.
But and then so Peter gets he goes to his area because he's upset. Normal
he's trying to clear his head.
Yeah. Like, he just got his ass whooped by Goblin because we're going through the whole building, and he was beat up. He was tore up real bad.
And he's the reason that May's dead. And
and Ned and MJ, they knew that she was gone, and they felt bad. They couldn't find Peter.
So what we find out, Ned has powers like Mr.
Strange.
Wong or
Mr.
Dr. Strange, where they do the portals,
Yeah, to where he can spin his finger.
And Mr. Wong being the Sorcerer Supreme, we can't forget about that.
Because Dr. Strange
got blipped.
So I was thinking, whenever Wong went through the portal and he was in that area, that must be where Shang Kong or
Shang-Chi,
where he was. So he's over there with him, and
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I started thinking about that.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So, but Ned,
where his sister is, and she's training and all that. Yeah,
so
I didn't think about that.
Ned does his little spin thing to try to find Peter.
Show me Peter Parker, and Spider-Man's there, and they're like, "Oh, is that him?" And they're squinting, and then here comes Spider-Man jumping through the portal, and then the portal closes behind him, and then he pulls the mask off.
It was Andrew Garfield. Which I knew it was because I knew his suit.
You can tell by the suit, but he's kind of at a distance, so it's kind of hard at first. But then he jumps through, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's who it is." But
and
he takes the mask off. It's Andrew Garfield,
and they're like, "Prove you're Spider-Man."
Yeah, and so he just jumps up and grabs the ceiling with his hand and just hanging there.
And then crawls over to get the cop.
And she's like, "Crawl on the ceiling." He's like, "No, this is enough to prove it." And she's like, "No, crawl." He said, "How do you think I'm hanging here?" And she said, "No, just crawl." And then Ned's grandma told him to get the cobweb. I laughed. So he got the cobweb for her. And then Ned was trying to find Peter again.
Yep.
And lo and behold,
the goat
coming through the portal.
The goat.
Tobey Maguire.
As Tobey Maguire, as Peter. He wasn't dressed up.
Yeah, he was a Peter. He wasn't even dressed up as Spider-Man. That's so great. And he stepped through the portal. He said, "Well, I just seen this portal. I thought I stepped through it." And as soon as it closed, he was like, "And now it's gone."
What I loved about it, he still acted like the dorky Peter from the old
he was still
Spider-Man.
dorky Peter, yeah. And he was like, "Yeah, I've been looking for your friend this whole time." So then both Peters fought it out, like shooting webs at each other. So then Ned's grandma was like, "Clean this shit up. We're done. We ain't doing that. We'll clean it up." So they cleaned it up. And then they're like, "Well, we have our own space we go to once we're feeling down. Mm-hmm. Maybe your Peter does. Does he have anything like that?" And they're like, "Yeah." So they go there, find Peter. Peter's tingle goes off, and then Peter's about to fight Peter, and Peter. Yeah.
But
Peter talk here.
YouTube, Toby,
please don't take it down.
But Toby and all of them, Toby said his great line, talking about how he lost they both lost their Uncle Ben.
They both lost their Uncle Ben, and
Andrew Garfield said he lost Gwen, which was his MJ, and that hit too.
Yeah. And then they both said that their Uncle Ben said that on the day that they died, with great power comes great responsibility.
So
and then, of course, the day Aunt May said it, she died.
Yeah. And then so they realize, hey, we're going to work together. We got
to come up with a plan to cure everybody.
So they're in the lab working, all three Peters. And it was funny because they were building their web shooters, and Tobey Maguire's like, huh? Like, y'all got web shooters?
Yeah, he's like, y'all got web shooters? And he's like, they're like, you don't? He says, and they're like, and then Ned asks,
oh my God, dude, that was so fun.
Ask Toby, he says, do you have a best friend? He said, yeah, I did. But he's dead. He died after he tried to kill me. And he's like, And
then I know he had to, like, it didn't show it, but I know he had to ask Andrew Garfield's character the same.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
because
and then
Ned's like, I'm your
Ned was like,
friend.
I know I got superpowers and stuff now, but you don't have to worry about me turning evil on you and trying to kill you.
God,
a bunch of comedic moments.
It was like, it felt good. Like,
yeah, it was a great.
And like the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield scene happened quickly after May died. I feel like they kind of did that on purpose because it was sad and they wanted a feel good moment. And it's always cool, being like in a theater and premieres like this and people clapping and cheering when stuff like
everybody's
that
cheering and hollering. Yeah, it's awesome.
So the three Peters come up with their ways to reverse everything because they all agree. Let's cure them instead of send them back how they're supposed to be. So then they
they have this huge fight scene at the Statue of Liberty that's going to have the Captain America shield on it, which was mentioned in the last Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
So then they're fighting, and they try to team up at first, and then it doesn't work out because they don't know how to work together as a team because they all work solo.
And Tom's like, I worked on a team.
I worked together as a team with the Avengers, and they're like, oh, that's awesome.
Who's the Avengers?
And then Andrew's like, are you in a band? He thought it was a rock band. Oh, it was hilarious.
Which is strange to me because Doctor Strange name's mentioned in Spider-Man 2, but I guess there is no Avengers.
I guess not.
Yet. Yeah. Anyways, it could have happened later on down the road. But so then they realize, they're going to take them out one by one.
So then they nail the teamwork.
Yeah.
And then while they're fighting, Ned and MJ have the cube and they're keeping it away. And then whenever MJ's falling, and then the glider grabs Tom Holland.
So you guys see in the trailer, Tom Holland's jumping down to reach for MJ
to catch MJ as she's falling.
Yeah.
Well, the Green Goblin and his glider takes Tom Holland away. And Andrew Garfield's like, no, not in one lifetime am I letting this happen twice.
Because he knew, it made him think of Gwen.
Yeah, and instead of using his spider web like he did with Gwen to attach to her and attach to the building, he caught her and then used his web.
Yeah, and man, you could see it in his face, he was tearing.
Oh, yeah, he started crying
because he knew he was able to save her, and it freaked me out at first, man, because I felt like it was coming, but it also freaked me out. I was like, God, they're not gonna kill two major people off in this movie,
right?
Because the moment that the glider hit, oh God. Yeah, but no, it was great, guys.
Then we see the dark side of Tom Holland.
Yeah. And
he was going to kill Green Goblin. He said, "Oh, poor little Parker couldn't send me back and get me killed or something." And he said, "No, because I want to do it with my bare hands." And
he beats the
crap out of him. And then he goes to stab him with his glider, and Toby stops him.
Yeah.
And then so they kind of power struggle for a minute, and then Tom realizes that he doesn't need to do that, and he lets go. Yeah. And then right at that time, that damn Green Goblin, I swear, he stabs Tobey Maguire.
And I'm thinking, I was like, oh,
I'm thinking they done wrote off Aunt May. They're writing off Tobey Maguire, and I'm over here about to just bawl my eyes out. But then Toby ends up being okay. Yeah. So that's a good thing.
And they throw the reverse thing to Tom Holland. He was able to stab it inside.
Stab it and reverse all of the bad guys.
Yep.
And then Doctor Strange is trying to close all the portals because everybody's coming to fight Peter.
Yeah, and you see some different villains.
And you see some different villains. I think it's Kraven. Mm-hmm. I think there's a Scorpion.
That one was definitely Rhino.
Yeah, the one was Rhino for sure. The other two are debatable because they kind of happen like this.
Yeah.
So you kind of gotta.
Unless that was like a Kane or something, it was Kingpin.
Maybe. I mean, it might have been. Yeah.
But I mean,
might have been.
We'll find out, I'm sure, in a few days.
Yeah, in a couple of days, everybody will slow it down and get those pictures really good and clear. So
there are people out there that will definitely go see the movie twice just for that.
But then Tom's like, just make everybody forget Peter Parker.
Yeah.
To save the world. So that way not everybody comes through and destroys everything. And that's what Doctor Strange does.
What I can't figure out, so it shows Peter at Aunt May's gravesite. He's putting a flower there. Happy shows up, and they're both sad. Happy's talking to Peter like, I've lost someone close to me, which was Tony Stark. Right. But what I can't figure out, Happy knew Aunt May, because he said that he knew her through Spider-Man. Not once did she ever introduce Peter to him.
But the thing is Doctor Strange erased Peter from everybody's mind. So even if she had introduced, he would have been erased from his mind.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
But of course, everybody still knows Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. So
because at the end he goes to the donut shop because he was going to try to talk to MJ,
and then he buys a coffee from her and sees the scar that was there from the whole fight scene at the Statue of Liberty.
They don't remember that they went to school with him.
Right? They don't remember him at all.
Yeah.
And so, he sees the scar and he's like, "I'm not doing that to her." Yeah. And
I think it was that, and because he knows how good their life is going, they both got accepted to college where they wanted to go, but you can tell, she had a connection, she knew.
Yeah, you could tell she felt something. She didn't know that was him, but she felt something there.
So you can definitely tell. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the movie. It was just
the whole movie summarized. You don't even have to go watch it.
You still go watch it though.
You still go watch it because the scenes are amazing, and of course, there's a lot of details we left out.
So the first end credit scene was
this one makes me so mad, bro.
Man, it does. So it's Tom Hardy. So you guys remember in Venom 2 when we did our podcast, and if you've seen Venom 2, he gets transformed into Tom Holland's world.
Yeah. So there's an MCU character. So this is how it was described by someone we've watched on TikTok. There's an MCU character that gets, what did it say? Replaced,
taken
more or less
out
replaced.
of MCU and replaced with the same character in the MCU.
Yeah, taken out of the MCU and replaced by the same character. So he's confused about it at first. But then this scene happened where, he was in Mexico whenever he got back. Whenever Venom got brought to this universe.
He's having the bartender explain Thanos.
Yeah, he's getting drunk and stuff, and the bartender's explaining all these different heroes and stuff, and Tom Hardy's like, we need to go pay a visit to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And Venom's like, oh, we're drunk. And then at that time, they're gone. They get taken back.
Yeah, he's like, oh, not again. We just got here.
Yeah. But there's a piece of the symbiote left on the counter.
Which I guess is going to travel all the way to New York. I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess because it's technically Venom and Venom knows Spider-Man.
Yeah. So, see, I feel like Venom's going to be maybe Flash because I don't feel like they're going to recast Venom because I just feel like that'd be so hard.
There's no Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
In MCU as of right now. There's no Eddie Brock.
I just feel like,
they should have just used Tom Hardy's Venom.
I know. Maybe Sony didn't give them. I don't know.
Sony wouldn't have done that.
I know because they let it up.
Sony still owns Spider-Man.
Yeah,
so they're letting Tom Holland still do all these MCU films. So Sony knows that MCU and Disney can make the money.
Yeah,
so I don't think that that's it at all. I
don't know. They must have, unless they got bigger plans for.
The only thing that I could think of was that they're still going to use Tom Hardy as the voice of Venom. Mm-hmm. But still have somebody else take over the symbiote. Maybe it might not even be Venom.
The only thing I can really think of maybe is because that Venom's a little dark, and they don't want to bring.
And he's older.
Yeah,
he's older,
and they don't want to bring a dark Venom to the MCU.
So that right there kind of goes into what I was talking about earlier. Whenever there was rumors of Andrew being in another Spider-Man movie,
that would be cool.
That could be it. He could be the Spider-Man to Eddie Brock.
I could see that.
And or Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because Andrew Garfield is the darker of the Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Of the three, he's the darkest.
So you think that we're going to see the symbiote get on Black Suit Spider-Man? like in Spider-Man 3.
We might get that. I'm
By
thinking
the way,
more
guys,
of like
Tom Holland made a new suit, and it so much resembles a Spider-Man suit.
It's an actual Spider-Man suit, like with the nostalgia feeling to it.
Like it is so clean,
amazing.
Like no nanotech, no super type of gadgets or anything.
Plain old spandex.
And I feel like I started thinking he had to. Well, no, because people still know him as Spider-Man. I was going to say he didn't want to do the nanotech because he didn't want to. Because people would be confused how he got it.
Well, he might not have had the nanotech because Stark Labs.
Well, that's true.
Rated
And then the second one, we finally got our first trailer for Doctor Strange 2.
Yep.
And I started thinking, after watching it and all that, because they put bits of Doctor Strange 2 in the Spider-Man trailer to kind of throw people off.
So some of the trailer you actually seen is like clips from that trailer. So
what I'm thinking, when Wong said don't cast that spell, that was the whole thing with Spider-Man. Like whenever he cast that spell, it messed up the multiverse. Because the second Doctor Strange is Multiverse of Madness.
Right.
So I feel like it's tying in together. I feel like, I could be way wrong, but I feel like something's going to happen in Doctor Strange 2 that's going to reverse something to where people's going to remember Peter Spider, or certain people is going to remember that Peter's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's going to reverse some kind of spell. That I don't know.
But we also see a different Doctor Strange in there too, the darker one. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
I know they had to. I think it was like 3 times that Benedict said on a Jimmy Kimmel interview that they had to do reshoots. Like he was reshooting the movie, like Doctor Strange 2, and then after he reshot it, he went to the studio next door to go watch the Spider-Man premiere. So it was
really?
all that was done in one day.
Wow.
He was talking about it in an interview, and I don't know what they're having to reshoot. I know originally it was supposed to be a horror movie, and they kind of changed it around because it was too dark for for the Marvel City universe world. So they changed it around a little bit. But guys, absolutely, just you have to go see the movie. It's a must. To be honest, I don't know when, because tickets have been selling out quick and stuff. I'll probably go see it in the theaters again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I really did like it. And I always find out when I watch a movie a second time,
you usually see more.
Yeah. And plus, if I don't go watch it again at the theater, I'll probably have to wait till March before it even comes out on DVD. So
True.
Or Blu-ray. DVD ain't a thing anymore.
They still are.
But yeah, guys. So thank you guys so much for
Let us know.
Let's keep the comments spoiler free.
Yes, we want to do that.
Because, we don't want people that click on the video to watch the spoiler free part have the spoilers in the comments.
Exactly.
But if you want to share with us your thoughts on the movie, you can hit us both up over on Twitter. Slide in the DMs, if you will.
Let us know.
Let us know,
Because we are more than open to talk to you.
We will leave that link below as well. But that way, because if you've seen the movie and someone else hasn't, and they just want to watch the spoiler-free version to see our input, they don't get it ruined.
And if you guys just clicked on this to see if Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's in it, yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're in it.
So go see it.
But you're going to have to wait till the end of the podcast to see that. So.
Yep. That's true. And they actually got a good amount of screen time.
Oh, yeah. I feel like they had a really good... everything was perfectly... I was surprised Doctor Strange wasn't there more than what he is.
Yeah, that's true.
But other than that, I think they did amazing with screen time.
Yeah. It was great. And I still keep... it didn't feel rushed.
No, not at all.
Added
everything was
perfectly.
Yep.
But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching the podcast.
We appreciate you guys.
Always
and
appreciate
until next
you.
time.
Much love.